Hi there, welcome. Hope you're doing great. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to easily deploy a Django website for free. We are basically going to go through two main steps. In the first step, we are going to upload the project source file to GitHub. In the second step, we are going to use Pythonanywhere to host our website. So what you want to do first is to create a GitHub account if you don't have one. Use the link in the description to create a GitHub account. Secondly, we are going to create a repository where we are going to upload all our source file. In the next step, we are going to use Pythonanywhere. So what you want to do first is to create a Pythonanywhere account. Secondly, we are going to clone the project from GitHub. That is, get the source file from GitHub into our Pythonanywhere account. And lastly, we are going to deploy that project. That is, configure the project so that Pythonanywhere can serve the project. Now, I would like to invite most of my viewers to subscribe since about 99% of my viewers are not subscribed, so that you won't miss any of my future Django tutorial. With that said, let's dive into the tutorial. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and created my own GitHub account, which you can do using the link in the description. So what I'm going to do now is to create a GitHub repository where we're going to upload our project files. So I'm going to give the name of my project, or my repository, sorry. So I'm just going to leave everything default. And there you go, I've created a GitHub repository. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use the portfolio website we built during the Build a Portfolio Website series. So if you want to use the project file, you can find the link in the description, or you can go ahead and use your own project files. I'm going to open that folder from VS Code. Okay, I've opened it from VS Code. All right. Now let me just go ahead and create a new terminal. Okay, a new terminal has been created. So now what I want to do now is to actually create a local repository and link it to my online repository. And you can see these are the cool features of VS Code. It has gone ahead and detected that I have a virtual environment and activated it for me. So what I'm going to do is to click Initialize repository. And that is going to create a local repository and add all my project files. Now I'm just going to commit these files. Okay, this is my commit message, so I'm just going to leave the message as first commit, then press enter, or press this mark here. Once these have been pressed, it's going to commit all my files. Okay, all my files have been created or committed, sorry. Now I'm going to open the repository or the quick start that GitHub provided for us, and I'm going to actually add the link to this repository, our online repository, to the local repository. So I'm going to use this command. Now I've added the link to my online repository in my local repository. Now I'm going to just follow this second step. This second step is just renaming my master branch to main, and this is something that GitHub encouraged us to do. So I'm just going to do it. And I've gone ahead and created or changed my branch name to main. Then now I'm going to push the files from my local repository to my GitHub repository. So I'm just going to paste that. So git push origin main is going to push all the files from my local repository to my online repository. Okay, as you can see, all the files from my local repository has been pushed to my online repository. Now let me refresh this. And here we go. These are all the files from my local repository which are on my newly created repository on GitHub. Now what we are going to do now is we are going to get these files from a Pythonanywhere account to host them. Like I said, you can go ahead and use any project of your choice, or you can just use these files which are provided here. Alright, I've gone ahead and created the notes.md file which outlines all the steps involved in the deployment. So make sure you have GitHub, make sure you have Git installed, then you have created your account and created the repository for that. Then now what we are going to do is to actually test our project to make sure that our project is running. So I'm just going to copy that, then open a new terminal. Okay, as you can see, VS Code has activated the virtual environment for me. So I'm just going to run it to make sure that my project is up and running. Okay, seems like my project is working okay. Alright, my project is up and running. So I'm just going to close that, then stop the server. Okay, so I've stopped the server. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create a requirements.txt file that is going to contain all the packages you have used in a Django project. So you can actually use this command to do that. So I'm just going to paste that, then press enter. As you can see, a file called requirements.txt has been created, and if you open the file, you're going to see that the file has a list of packages we have used, that is including Django and Pillow. So we're going to use that during deployment. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to update these changes to the repository we created. So as you can see, there are changes that have been done. I'm just going to put added requirements. All right, then I'm committing, and that's it. I've committed. Then now to push your code, you can actually use this right down here, or if you don't have that, you can click here, then click on push. Then it's going to push all your recent changes. All right, it's pushing my changes. Okay, the changes have been pushed. So let's just take a look at repository. Let me just refresh it. Okay, as you can see, the commit of added requirements have been updated on my repository, and now we have the requirements.txt file. So what we want to do now is to go ahead and create a Pythonanywhere account. All right, so you can use the link in the description to create a Pythonanywhere account. So I've already created mine, so I'm just going to open it. All right, this is my account I've created. So once you create your account, you're going to have this dashboard. So what you want to do now is to go to console. When you're on console now, you click on bash. That is, you want to create a new bash or a new terminal. Okay, as you can see, the new terminal have been created. So what we want to do now is to get our project files from GitHub to a Pythonanywhere account. To do that, you come here on code, you click here, then you copy this link. So I've copied the link to this GitHub repository. Now I come now to this terminal. I'm going to clone the repository here. So git clone, then press enter. As you can see, it has cloned all my projects from this repository. It has gotten all the files from this repository into my Pythonanywhere account. Now, after cloning the project, what you want to do now is to create a virtual environment, and I'm going to use this command to create the virtual environment. As you can see, the commands are slightly different here. So you're going to use the command and then we'll precise how you want to use Python 3.8. Then venv is the name of my virtual environment that I'm creating. So I'm just going to press enter. As you can see, it's taking some time. Okay, it has gone ahead and created my virtual environment and activated it for me. As you can see, I have this bracket here with the name of my virtual environment, which is called venv. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to install all the packages that we use in our Django project in that newly created virtual environment. You see that just the fact that we created a file called Requirements.txt, we don't need to install now those packages one by one. But to make sure that we are in that directory, or that we are in the directory containing that project, I'm just going to use ls. And as you can see, we have this, which is the name of a GitHub repository. As you can see here, the name of my GitHub repository is called Puto. And so when I cloned it, it cloned the project into this folder. And now what I want to do now is to cd into that folder, or the meaning of cd is change directory. So I'm just going to move into that folder. Once I'm in that folder, you can see now that I have main. This main is the name of my branch, the name of this branch, of this GitHub branch. That is what is here. So I'm on the main branch of my GitHub repository and my virtual environment is activated. So I'm going to paste it. No. All right. I'm just going to copy this command now. And well, let's just list what the files that I found here. As you can see here, I have my app called John. I have the manage.py. Then I have portfolio, the name of my project. Then now the requirements.txt. Make sure to run this command in the directory that has your requirements.txt, because what this command does is it gets all the packages listed in your requirements.txt. For example, here is my requirements.txt. So it's going to get all these packages and install them. So let me copy this command. Okay. This is going to take some time. Okay, as you can see, I've successfully installed Django, Pillow, and all the packages we use in that project. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a new web app on Pythonanywhere. And to do that, you come to Pythonanywhere, then you click here, and then you go to web. Alright, once on the web tab, now what you want to do is to click here, add a new web app. So I'm just going to follow the instructions here. So go to next. Then now this step is very important. If you're actually going to create a new Django application on Pythonanywhere, you have to click here. But since we already have a Python project, we are going to actually click on manual configuration. Once you click on manual configuration, now you choose your Python version. Remember, we choose Python 3.8. So I'm just going to click Python 3.8 and click next. So we have gone ahead and created a new Pythonanywhere web app. So now what we want to do now is to configure this web app. So you have to scroll down. Then now, firstly, you have to provide the link to your source code. And I'm going to show you how to get the link to this source code. If you come here, then let me say I'm going to open files in a new tab. All right, let me just, well, I have the file here. So The source code is in the home directory, paper and photo. So let me just show you how I got the link. If you come here, as you can see in this part, I'm having home. Then now the main directory is going to be like the name, your username, and my username is paper, sorry. So as you can see in paper photo, I'm having my Django project. So this is where my Django project is. So I'm just going to copy this, then come and add it here. So the path to my Django project. So I'm having home, paper, photo, and that's it. Then my working directory. The working directory is home / your username. So here we go. Okay, it has automatically detected my working directory. Then now it's just going to, we are going to use this file at the end to configure Pythonanywhere to actually load or save a Django application. So now what we want to provide now is the path to our virtual environment. So the path to my virtual environment should be this. If I come here, for you to get that, you have to come here. Let's go back. As you can see, this is where my virtual environment is found, or all my virtual environments are found. And here is it. My virtual environment is in a folder called .virtual environments, and my virtual environment, the name of my virtual environment is actually venv. So I'm just going to come here and paste it. So remember, this is it, paper.virtual environment / venv, where venv is the name of your virtual environment. I'm just going to click enter, and that's it. My virtual environment has been configured. So now what we are going to do is to configure a static files, and I already actually prepared that for us. So number one, you have to first of all get statics. So static file, this is going to be the URL of our static file. Then now we have to actually configure or tell Pythonanywhere where a static file is. So if you check a project, you can see that a static file is in a folder called statics. So inside statics, all our static files are found there. So I'm just going to copy this part and modify it. All right, this is a part. I'm going to modify that. So here we go. I'm having static. All right, this should be home, paper, photo, the name of our project. Then now in a folder called static, this is where a static file is. Now I'm going to configure the media file. So you can clearly see that a media file is in a folder called media root. So I'm first of all going to copy this, paste that here. Then now I'm going to enter the path to our media files, which is home, paper, photo, and media root. Since here in our project folder, we have a folder called media root. So I'm going to enter the path, and there you go. I've entered the path. Now I think that should be it. So I'm just going to enable HTTPS so that the domain name should be secured. Then once you've done that, you have to actually come here and click this WSG configuration file. This is a file Pythonanywhere will use to like serve your Django application. So I already did the configuration for you. So what you want to do is to just copy this file. Once the file has been copied, you paste it here. And what this just tells Pythonanywhere is to it tells Pythonanywhere where to find the project. And remember, my project file is called photo, so this is just going to tell Pythonanywhere where to find my project. Once it has found my project, it's actually going to look for the name of the settings files of my project. And remember, the name of my project is portfolio. If you come here, the name of my project is portfolio, so it's in portfolio.settings file. That's where all my settings are found. So I'm just going to go here. As you can see, this has already been configured. So what you want to do is to actually give the name of the folder that has your project file. Then I'll add the name of your project or your Django project here, then add the settings. Then you save that. Once that has been saved, you go back. All right, now we are going to reload and check our website. Okay, I'm just going to open this in a new tab. We should have an error. All right, we have this error, disallowed host, because Django doesn't know, the host haven't been configured in Django. Remember, in our settings.py file, if we come here, let's just do that from Pythonanywhere. If you come, okay, this is it. Our project is saved in Poto. Then you come to portfolio, which is the name of our Django application. Then you come to your settings.py file. You're going to see that Django needs a list of allowed hosts which can serve this Django project. So I'm just going to add this, like this host. The host is Python paper.pythonanywhere or your username.pythonanywhere.com. So I'm just going to come here, then paste that. After pasting it, I'm going to save it. Once I've saved it, I'll make sure I reload the application or the web app. All right, that has been loaded. So I'm just going to refresh this now. And as you can see, we have successfully hosted a Django application for free and easily, and everything is working beautifully. So you can actually use this method to host all your Django application and most of your portfolio projects. With that said, thanks for watching and see you next time.